Welcome to this series where we are playing Transport Fever 2 and we are picking up in 1866. The game's on pause for a reason which I'll explain in a little while. Now, in this part, what I want to do is set up some shipping lines. But before that, I'd like to say a big thank you for your comments and feedback. As usual, you guys give me a lot to think about. Now, I did get a comment about the numbers of carts that you've got to use running backwards and forwards. And this is probably not the best example, but if you come over to here, you can see like this crop delivery system. You can see the little tags. There's almost a cart every way. Unfortunately, this is a consequence of the fact that in 1850, we're dealing with very small carts that move slowly and have got very little capacity. And the reason you see large swarms of these trucks running across the map is down to line mathematics. Now, line mathematics is it's a little bit of a rabbit hole in this game, and it can catch you out, especially if you really want to min-max everything. And in the early games, it's not quite as important, but as the game progresses, it does become more important. But if you're not into mathematics, don't worry, guys, because there are other ways that you can get your cities sorted out. But an example of line mathematics is here. As an example of why sometimes you actually need to do line mathematics. I mean, a later video, I'll probably go into it more detail. What you do is you come to the route. Every route has a rate. You can see this route here, which is delivering fuel from here to I, has a rate of 79%. 79. If I click on I, what you will see is I has a demand of 110 and a delivery of 66. So what that means is that this route here is not meeting the demands of the I with respect to delivery of fuel. And of course, another way it indicates that something's wrong is that there's a big queue of here. So what we're looking to do is go back to I again. You can see we need to get to 110. And the way to do that is to go to manage vehicles. And what you're multiplying is, I mean, each one of these wagons has a capacity of 4. So, and one of the easiest ways to do this is to kind of go like that and then just clone in some extra vehicles like that. What you see is that will go up to 100 or 99. So we need probably 2 more to get this to, that's 107. Now, a word of warning when you're dealing with towns like Air, and this is, I think, causes a lot of confusion to some new players, is that you can see here the demand is 110, and sometimes you can put loads and loads of trucks on here, but they don't actually, this never gets to 110. And the reason for that is that this is the demand for the whole town. And if you put your truck in here and you come in here, if this area doesn't cover every instance of where there's a demand for fuel, you will never reach the maximum capacity. So that's what you do need to worry about. So hopefully that makes a bit sense. As I say, I will go into it more detail as I feel it becomes relevant, because one of the problems with getting obsessed with line mathematics is you can make your towns grow, and of course it means that as the town grows, that demand will change. It could increase, it could decrease, and it's something you need to keep an eye on. But at the same time, it's maximum efficiency to make your towns grow. While it's beneficial, it's not the focus of the game. The actual focus of the game is making money. This is something you do need to be aware of, and you can see it. And this is what you're talking about from a good perspective, is the fact that everything is blue across the board. But of course, the other thing you need to be aware of is that you've also got your area here. So you see, like, at the moment, water is losing because I've actually built a port as part of preparation for this video. We've also got investments in vehicles and infrastructure, which builds up. This is the breakdown, and of course, railroad infrastructure here. So what you're seeing here is that is our profit margin, but this is the maintenance of vehicles. This is maintenance of tracks, maintenance of infrastructure. And while in 1850 you can roll with it quite successfully, but remember that as the game progresses, those costs increase with the level of the vehicles as well. So that's something you need to be aware of. So moving on to what have I been doing since the end of the last video. And a lot of what I've been done is some routine maintenance so that I don't get distracted during this video when we're laying in ships. Also, some of it's a little bit prep. You remember from the last part, we got this forest here delivering logs to the lumber mill over there. What I've done is I've actually upgraded the track. Well, I've actually put track in, I think, if I remember correctly. Originally it was trucks. And I think the trucks are still running, actually, aren't they? Yeah. No, this is the one delivering the tools. And what we got here is a track coming to here. And what I've got here is quite a big station with, and the way this station works, this is very much a practice run for me, is you've got the actual cargo platforms on the outside, and then you've got two fast tracks down the center. Now this station layout is the preparation for what I would call a main line, and what this means is that other faster trains, especially passenger trains, shouldn't be delayed by the goods trains stopping to drop off and pick up goods. And the idea is that eventually this will extend down that way. That's why the track goes there. And what are we doing? Because again, when you're planning your main infrastructure, be aware that if we keep feeding everything I needs, what I will do is continue to grow. So don't put your cargo drop off, say, about here. Now, passenger drop off, yeah, you can put a passenger station here, but don't put your cargo stations in too close to your towns, unless of course you don't want it to grow. So what this station will do eventually will be a position where we will be delivering goods to I. So that's the reason why it's a lot further away. The other reason also is the fact that you need a reasonable length of route to make some money. So again, putting a cargo station, even say here, will give you a very short route, which makes it sound efficient, but at the same time that route may never make a profit, plus the fact that it's a bit too close to your town center. So when you're planning cargo distributions, build in a little bit of slack so that you can actually make some money. Now, if I come over to Gainsborough, if you watched the last video, be aware that we actually got a new train in here. If we buy vehicles, we've got the Borzig. Now, the Borzig is slightly faster and slightly more powerful, but it's not a substantial upgrade. And this is another thing that you want to be aware of when a new vehicle comes available. Don't go around upgrading your thing wholesale, but look at every individual line and say, has that got the scope to be able to make a profit? That's your thought process. That's what you need to think about. And what I've done here is I think I have upgraded this line. If I can find a train. Where is it? I think, yeah, I think these have got the Borzigs in them. Yeah, I think that's a Borzig. And the other thing I've done with this line is I put a little truck on the back that's carrying food. Now the reason for that is, one, that increases the profits on this line a little bit. Also, what I've got now is a route that runs down here, which is delivering some food to Stainford here, or Stainforth, because what I'm trying to do is just keep this town growing. You can see it's got the target population of 433, which means eventually it will start to grow. And that's something that you do need to be aware of. What the growth depends on what you're delivering, and that's in the whole range of resources like public transport, private transport, stations, traffic. I think this is to do with the overall thing. And if this number is lower than this number, the town will grow. If this number is lower than that number, the town will shrink. That's the way it works. We're losing an iron mine here, but I'm not too worried about that. Now, another thing I've done in preparation for this video is I've reworked this bridge, because the bridge I put in here originally was too low. When I checked the navigable waters, the river here wasn't navigable, so I've replaced this bridge with another bridge. It's also a bit of a practice, because actually building bridges in this game can be a little bit mystifying when you first start out. This line does need some more work, but I'm not going to do much about that in this part, because I need to be totally focused on ships. If we come down here, we come down to here, the steel mill that we got going in the last part, it didn't really seem to perform that well, and it was still hovering around this little negative arrow here, which means it And it was hanging around this negative arrow on all levels. So what I've done is I put a very simple rail coal delivery line here, and all it's doing at the moment is it's just keeping this steel mill ticking over. That's the whole idea behind it. So this line is kind of functioning in a kind of housekeeping type of rule. Down here is going to be the focus of our what we'll be doing in this video. And what I've done here is I've created a bit of a transport hub for materials. So we got a ship here, which is or port, and then we got a rail line here. And this station will eventually act as a pickup and drop off point for materials hopefully as demand grows. Also, this is going to be the key to sorting this mess out here. And it is a mess. It's not really, it's kind of settled down. It's making a profit, but it's nowhere near efficient. And then finally, no, well, I'll just give you a quick run through down here. I haven't done much down the bottom of the map here, mainly because there's one possible option here with respect to this farm looping to this food factory here, which is then could supply spalding. But I'm not convinced that's going to make money, and I don't really want to get too involved in that. But what we do have down here is you can see spalding does have a demand for materials, which spins back to what we've got here. And this is the reason why I really want to drive this factory, because this, you can see the potential for this factory is 100, 200, 300, 400. So we could supply possibly 2-3 towns from this area here, but of course we need to level it up, which is, and that now spins back to why we're working on ships. And the final preparation change I've done here is, and this is a good example of what the comment referred to, the chain of trucks. What I've got is the logs here being supplied to the sawmill, which is then going to, and we've also got one from this side as well. Now, the reason I've done this is that in this part, hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, we're going to have 2 routes. We're going to get a route from here to Gainsborough, delivering materials and bringing stone back. And then we'll have another route which will be taking the lumber from here up to Gainsford again, and that will be then shipped to this factory here. Because again, this factory here, when it reaches full production, will have a capacity of 400 tools. And you can see at the moment it's struggling a little bit. It's down in the dumps, and you can see that from the chart and the fact that it's got very low levels. But then again, it's also partly down to the fact that I've been messing about with it with respect to doing this, and that's destabilized the rail line. But eventually this rail line will come through to here, and it will also come down to about here. So we're going to get a main line through here to a rail station here, because what I'm going to do first, before we do anything else, is put another shipping hub in here, so that we can move goods around. So the idea is the ships will be coming up to here, and then we'll be connecting up there. The tools from here will be shipped back down to Erith. Well, that's the idea anyway. So first things first, we're going to put a port in. Now, when you're planning to put ports in, it's very tempting to say, oh, so I want to start with 2. I'm going to stay with small ports because the river's very narrow. And this is quite a common mistake for new players, is to put the port here, because the rationale is materials are there, I'll put the port there. But what you'll see is that the port will never cover the size of the town. And what you want to do is look for an opportunity to make some money. And by putting the port away from the town, not only does it give room for it to grow, it will also give you the potential to make a profit by having a slightly longer route. Now, I'm kind of half tempted to... No, I think I'd rather that steel mill just disappeared. I don't really want it there. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the port here. I'm going to put it some distance away from the steel mill, because we do need to have the infrastructure here. And we're going to need quite a lot of infrastructure, actually. So we're going to put the port there. And, of course, we're going to put a road in. What's here? Yeah. I'm just going to come along the coast a little bit like that. It's up to there. Because that's going to be our route to deliver the materials here. Now, I do want, as I mentioned, I do want a train station here, but we also going to want a fairly large truck building here. Not the truck building, pickup. So what I'm going to do is probably go a little bit over the top from the get-go. And I'm going to put this in, I think where I put this in about here. I'm going to take a little bit of a chance on the positioning. And what I don't want a left-hand platform, I want a right-hand platform. We're going to put you about, then we're going to come in, configure, because when you put in a platform like this, it's very easy to get it very congested, and I want to come out and I want to make the space from the get-go. And this is going to cost quite a lot of money, but I do want this to look like that. Then what we're going to do is have a bit of a way system, and kind of thinking now the way the game actually works is that the trucks come in and with an anti-clockwise motion. So what I'm hoping is if we put you there, I mean, I may need to adjust this because I can never remember. Well, I definitely can't remember now because it's a long time since I've built. That one's the wrong way round, actually. And this is the right way round. We want to put that in there. And if we click here, it probably won't reach, but that's okay. I'm hoping that when that, whoops, move you. That's the wrong way round. And what we should do is we can bring this road out now. And kind of bring it out a little bit like that, and then bring in like that. What that should do is bring this in range. No, it doesn't. Okay, I don't care, game. What we can do though is rid of you and you, refund. We can bring the port back a little bit rather than rebuild this. So I'm quite happy with that structure. So what we'll do is we'll bring the port back a little bit closer this way, and hopefully this will connect back up there. Well, that now gets this port in line with there. Now, and the next thing we want to do is put a road to there. Because the first route I want to get set up is this quarry, and this is the reason why the game's actually on pause, because this quarry is, well, let me just build the road out. Now I'm going to be bringing a train line through here, and oh no, it's far enough out, so I'm going to put a like that. Go. Now, if I show you this quarry appeared. I can't remember what was here before, but this quarry appeared since the end of the last video, and this is what drove me to want to do ships. Now what you see here is it says production 400, but if you look at the charts, you see that this production is dropping. And what happens is if this production gets too low, that makes this a candidate for a disappearing industry, like we've got over there in the background there. You can see Stainthorpe iron ore mine is disappearing. I don't know if we can actually see the chart here. You can see where you've had lots and lots of consistent supply and it drops down. And one thing I've noticed is that with new buildings or sources, especially sources, if you don't use them, they don't stay around very long. What I need to do is kick this one in and get production going very, very quickly. So what we need to do is get the route going from the beginning. And actually, I'm going to start this end, and we're going to set the route up now for the ship. Now, one thing about ships is they take a long time to get going, but they can make a lot of money. But the things you do need to know about shipping is the routes need to be bi-directional. If you send a ship on a long route like I'm planning here, and it's only carrying cargo in one way, it will be incredibly difficult to make some money, no matter how big your ship is. And the reason for that is the sheer distance, the amount of time, because you've got to remember, each lap of this route could take several cycles, so you won't get much of so the delivery rate can be a bit sketchy. I'm going to put SH there. Materials. I'm not going to name them. Oops. I'm not going to name the places. We'll just put in SH materials. Stone. So we're going to get you there. So we've got the route now set up. Now, again, as I've already mentioned, this takes a long time to get a trigger. And one thing I have noticed with the game, and this is purely observational, I haven't really formally tested it, is demand starts once you get your first, how can you say, vehicle picking up. So for example, if we put the ship and send it up this way, what will happen is that it will take a long time to come up here and that will mean that the demand will be slow to appear. So in order to preserve this quarry, we're going to have to do a little bit of jiggery pokery, and that means we might lose a bit of money, but at the moment preserving the quarry is more important, it seems a bit. Okay, and what we're going to do is put the in here. Set a line up here, and we're just going to come into here, and this is the moment of truth. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Here's the go. We're going to get a truck coming here. It will pick up from there. So it will come in here and go like that. What we've got, so what that means that we should get a flow around here. We'll call this I. No. Got a lot of Gainsfords here. Call it truck Gainsborough. Bit ironic that the town that I find the hardest to spell is the one that we're actually call this Stone to Port. And so we now got the route here, and as I said, I want to trigger this almost immediately. So we've got a kind of station over here, which is a bit out the way, and it means that if I bought the wagons from there, they'd have to go all the way around here. So I'm going to kind of game the game a little bit by we're going to come here, and I'm just going to put the depot back opposite. The cost of the depot is irrelevant compared to cost of what would happen if I lose this quarry. And so what we're going to do is coming in here, we're going to buy 20 odd vehicles on cargo. We're going to buy vehicles. We're going to assign you to, where is it, Gainsford. Where's it gone? Oh, there, Stone to Port. What you see is the trucks are coming out now, but to complete the loop, what we need to do is get some ships onto this route over here. So what I'm going to do, and especially is the fact that this will be a center of our shipping, I'm going to put the actual ship depot or your shipyard here. Normally what I would do is put it in the center of the map so that you've got so when you buy a ship, it's going to go, or maybe not the center of the map, but the center of the routes, so that the ships don't have that far to go. But what I want to do is just to ensure this route goes well, we're going to put this in here. I think that's going to put the there. Just buy ships. Now, because I'm using small ports, we can only use the top 2 ships. This is a large one, and I don't think the river really is justified having large ships on it, because the game can have a few problems maneuvering. And what we've got is the Rigi, which is 25 kilometers an hour, and the Wilhelm here. What I'm going to do is we're going to buy 2 of these, and then we're going to find you to there. Now, one thing I do need to do is we need to work a little bit on the route here. Manage line port. I want to set you up to here. Now, one thing about ships is when your ships have 2 compartments, so they can carry 2 cargoes. Well, the ships I've got at the moment can do that. The thing you do need to do, because you can have these multiple ports, the game can leak through very badly with ships. So against a port, we're going to turn off there. You're going to load stone here and unload materials here. And then down here, I'm not going to, I want this to stay here. And you're going to load materials in Immingham port and unload stone. And hopefully that is going to get things going. Let me just see where it all goes wrong. And one thing I will do is I don't want these, and of course the issue with this route as well. I've done this I branch here, isn't it? And we're going to go loaded. And what you see now is the quarry is working, but it's going to take a little while for that production to build back up again, which means these trucks are going to just sit here waiting for the stone to be mined. But what it means is, you can see we're now getting a bit of stone, and hopefully, and what we'll do is we'll add more trucks as we go along, but hopefully that's saved that quarry. And so what we now got is a situation where this port should start actually functioning. And what should happen is this ship will probably sit here for a long time doing nothing, twiddling its thumbs. Now, to complete this section of the, or this line, is we need to now set up the line for the what we call it, the materials. And this is an example of what I was saying, is that trying to get, I doubt very much whether we're going to get all of the materials in this. We might just. So eventually what we might have, or we can probably come back that way a bit. We're going to need to cover that. Directionality counts as well. I think at the moment we're leave you there. So put a route. Oops. Gainsford. Or Gainsborough. I don't know why I keep calling it Gainsford. Gainsborough. Mats 3. And of course I've got. I'm trying to use TR for trucks. Gainsborough South. We're gonna say wait until it's loaded. And what I will do this time is we'll actually use the truck here. And now this is where we've got to be careful that we don't actually unload. I'll see the route up now. Again, so Matt's delivery. This is on 1, and you can see it's got this loop round here. Now, if you compare that with, whoops, not. We come into here. If you compare that with stone, comes this way. So these guys have the potential to block this route here. But what we can do is, because we've got this little bit of a gap here, if we only buy about 4 or 5 trucks for the moment, so say we buy 5 trucks. Again, this is about creating the demand. And we assign you to Gainsford. Where are you? Oh, that's TR, isn't it? What should happen is the 5 trucks should come into here and then wait until such time as we get materials coming this way. And you can see the stone is now arriving. We've got our ship is sailed off. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to buy 2 more, because we're going to need a lot of ships in this. Like I said, this is going to cost a lot of money to set up. Oops. The ship will come in here, but I want to drive this demand from the quarry, and that's the important thing. And I suppose in some ways what I'll do is I'll show you the line rate for the ship. So game just here. What you see is the line rate here is 48, and this is, and that's to, and the reason for that is the length of time it takes for the ships to get back and forwards between these 2 ports. Right, so that out of the way, we've now got hopefully that port set up. Now, what I've got to do now is we need to up the production for the it's a new industry founded. Nuneaton ore mine. Yeah, well, I'm not particularly that interested, sorry. Now, the problem we've got is this long-standing load of rubbish over here. We need to get the stone from here over to here, so that we can actually get the production up, because at the moment the production here is very low, and what that means is we've got to cross this river. Now this bridge is going to be quite important, because it's going to be one of the main spans across this section of the river, because we've got the potential for some lumber there. We've also, more importantly, got our steel mill there, but at the moment we've got opportunities over here for we've got another steel mill here. So this bridge needs to be a little bit of substantial investment. So rather than put the bridge here at the narrow bit, because it's going to crowd this materials port, what we're going to do is we're going to put the bridge about, actually let's have a look at the contours, because this is going to be a big investment, so I want it in somewhere where we can actually get a real benefit. It's flat on that side, it's reasonably flat over there, and then we've got a bit of contour down here to where the station is. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to come across about here. Now comes the fun bit, because, but especially when you first start out, actually building bridges, especially when you want to get the height for navigation, can be fun in this game. And one of the best ways to do this is actually put the central span in first. And what you can do is you press the full stop and the comma like that to raise the bridge up. And what we're going to do is go across like that. Now this bridge, when you put a bridge across the river, it can be a bit disconcerting, because it looks like it's actually rising. It's not, because the pillars are going down into the river. The other problem, I think, looking at that, because what I'm doing is, because I've got the contour lines on, you've got that there. The other thing you can do is, if you click to navigation here, you can see that there's green between the towers, and that's what you're looking for. That means that this bridge is probably good enough. And if you come there and we let the game run and we look at navigation again, you see we've got the gaps. And of course, because I set the shipping route up, the game would have complained if this ship hadn't been able to get under this bridge. So we've actually got a fairly low level bridge, so you don't need to go right up in the sky, especially with a long stretch like this. And what we're going to do, of course, we're probably going to have to that we are going to double track this. So what we're going to do now is we're going to need to get down. Now, when you're dealing with railways, you need to remember that you don't want to do something like start the minimum. If I come here like that, you need to have a fairly flat output. And raise that a little bit, because what you're looking at is the gradient. Now, you won't get a perfect gradient whether you like it or not, because you are going uphill, but you do need to get a reasonable gradient. Of course, what we're going to have is, I want to aim in that direction. Again, this is a little bit of future proofing. Okay, looks like this. Oops. Again, we're just come up. Yeah, one thing you'll notice after you've laid a bridge, the game has a little bit of an inclination to want to bury you down in the dirt, because it picks up the gradient from this side. And what we're going to do now is I need to get to there. No. See the. Whoops! Don't want to go up. I want to go up. Come up. No, we're gonna have to. That will go any higher. Okay, we're gonna have to do a little bit of. Kind of got ourselves into quite a deep cutting here. Okay, we're just gonna have to live with the cutting. This is going to be the stone line, so no. Cancel. Remove that. I'm not happy with that at all. I mean, we could go directly for a tunnel, to be honest. See, the trouble is we're on this kind of big, kind of dirty, slopey thing here. Let's see if we can do a tunnel. I know we got a little bit of a path off here, so we might just be able to get gradient. Sometimes when you're in really rough terrain like this, it just pays to stretch the game out, because it will even out over, or the track lane, it will even out over the averages. So I think we're just come there, and we're I think that will, and we're gonna, I think we'll put the bridge on the other side, so we'll come off this side and start from here. We're costing us a fortune, but it's going to be okay. Right. As I said at the beginning, messing about with ships can be very expensive, and you will lose quite a lot of money from the get-go. But they can turn very profitable if you get them right and you get the double-ended supply. But the effectiveness of that supply depends on me spending a fortune on this bridge. The 120. Not far enough. That was 1.23 million. This is one reason why you don't really want to mess with ships too early in the game, because they do require a lot of money to actually do or provide. And I think we're, oh, that's quite a nice gradient actually. So we're up there, and of course what we're going to need to do is run directly to this port here, quarry here. What we'll do is buildings. This is going to be a terminus. We only need one. What I'd like to do is, if possible, that rate we are aiming for the bridge there, point there, and work up the tracks there, and work the line out. Nothing like having a pile of money to make you feel a little bit more relaxed over laying track. Yeah, I think that will work. So we've got the line through here. Want to save some money, or because we're only gonna have like 3 or 4 trains on here, but I want the reasonable amount of double tracking on this side, because what we'll most likely have here is a branch that allow the trains to go off in different directions in the future. So yeah. I think that cutting is a bit much. So I think that cutting out here. Trouble with the cutting is having the cutting here. This is most likely where we're going to have a junction that will take the trains off another reggae. So having the trains on the surface or not very deep will make a difference. Yeah. Yeah, maybe I got a little bit carried away. That's not quite so bad. I mean, we've still got the 120. So, and that now gives us the route. And what we'll do is set a route up from there to there. For you. Whoops, double the cap stuff on. Call you Cleator, more. Now we do need to have a station, not a station, sorry, a depot. We got a little bit of a dead zone here because we're this line. Well, we might branch off here. So what we could do, although there's a lot of rough terrain here, and I think maybe we're right over here. We got quite a large empty space here. Got some stuff there. I think what we'll do is we'll actually put the depot here. And whoops. No, I want you on that track there. I want this part of the side of the game. Much curvature. And cancel. We have right hand drive, so we'll just do the signals. We're gonna have several trains on this route, so we'll probably start with 2. So here, signal up the route, space out a little bit more here, and of course, as and I know some of you will say, well, why am I double tracking a single line? But this is going to be quite a major crossing point, so that's the reason why I have double tracked it. Probably put you about there. And there. That will be quite a key junction. Come there, one there. and then out that way. One thing I do want to do before we turn the trains loose is I want to make sure this junction is good. So oh, no. Come the other way. Sometimes when you've got a junction like this, it actually pays to come in. You get a neater junction by actually coming into it rather than going out from it. And we've got the route. So what we need now is the trains. And this is going to be quite a key route. So we're going to buy the Borsigs and the boxcars. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oops. That's 40. I think we'll go to 44. And we're going to buy 2 trains. Fine. And what we'll do is allocate to, where was it? Cleatmore Stone. Was it? One thing I've forgotten about the line, as usual, is manage line Cleatmore West. Wait and be loaded. Not that it will wait that long. And so we're just going to let these trains come out. Now, what I'm going to do is leave this line for the moment until this line comes to life, because if you put the train in here and then don't do it, you need to convince the game that there's more coming from this point of view. Of course, the train's got to go the opposite way. Do you think you could go back the opposite way, please? And we'll just see whether he will actually. So we've now got stone coming into here. That will stimulate the production here. And our ships, how much? So see where we're starting to get the chain effect now. And we're getting a little bit of stone coming down. But hopefully, as we get momentum, we will be able to start actually getting a pretty good flow on the map. I just want to see what the spacing on our quarry is now, because I only bought so many trucks. How much stone are we getting into here? Well, we've got 84 stone waiting, which is pretty good. We got a ship coming up here. He's got 15 materials on it. I think at the moment we've probably got enough wagons on here. We've got these guys waiting. So what we should get is our first delivery here. And we'll see if we get some profit. And see how well this ship actually... Quite a cool looking ship actually. The side wheel paddle steamer. There we are. We're now in profit. We've got 70 stone on there. So that should be going quite nicely. We've now got materials in here which will then be shipped to there. And I just want to check production. Got a little bit of transport going, and you can see the production is not brilliant, but I kind of feel how many trucks have we got on this route? And we've got 20 at the moment. I think what we will do is we'll add 2, 3, 5. We're at another 5. They are a little bit spaced out. So we've got our first shipping line running. Now comes the second shipping line. This one's going to be a little bit more complicated. And what we need to do is go down to Erith. And what we'll do is Erith is here. Now what we want to do is we've got Erith here, and what we got is the lumber here. And what we're going to do is bring the lumber to here to go by ship to up to Gainsborough, and then we're going to bring tools back to drop off from here. Let me just see what is the. Let's do it the quick way. So we've only got a little patch of tools here, and again, this is where you can be very tempted to say, okay, well, we've got tools, we'll just put it there. What I want to do again is I want to put this out here somewhere way for exactly the same reason as last time. We're going to come here and put a road street here. That, and we're probably going to run a road all the way along the coastline here. So put that in 500,000. Maybe not just yet. That was expensive, but then again, it was probably excavating a lot of stuff. So we're going to put a road connection to there. Probably put a little bit of a Y junction there. And again, this port could get pretty busy. So what we're going to do is put in exactly what I did up in Gainsborough. I'm going to come here, rotate you that way, put you back a bit, maybe a little bit closer this time. And here we're going to edit, remove you, cargo, okay. We'll start with 2 here, and let's get street access. Just wonder whether that might be. I know the outbound side wants to be in this corner. Otherwise, what will happen is it will double round, loop around the circuitry system, and then we'll put a. And want a bit of a queuing area here. So we've now got this truck stop delivery here, and what I want to do, and this is actually, it's going to be a bit of a loss leader. So what this line is going to take a lot longer to crank up than the first one, because there's no direct port. This is why one of having something like this iron mine here right on the edge of the river can be quite important, actually, but that's just in the wrong place. We'll call you Erith, SH Erith. What we're going to do is just buy a single ship. Okay, let's buy one, and we're going to assign you to. And at the moment, we're not going to tell you to pick up anything. I just want you running backwards and forwards just to get the route started. Okay, we've got a potential problem here in the sense that this guy has got there. We might need some more trucks on this route. Okay, we're going to get a few more trucks on this route, because the ships are actually getting. Maybe I bought a few too many ships. Oh no, we got a bit of a queue here, so we don't need too many. Just yeah. Flown you into that route there. So we've now got the shipping line here, and he's going to just sit here and cruise backwards and forwards. Right. I do need to set this route up, actually. Sorry about this. Manage line. Now, Erith Port. Eventually, we will wait. In fact, we'll set you to wait until full. And also, the only thing that you're going to load is lumber, and you're going to unload tools. Gainsborough Port, we won't set to a maximum pickup, but what you will do is load tools and unload lumber. So we've now got the line in place. I mean, we are making an overall profit. Just to give you a profile, just to have a look at what we've got. Sometimes it's easy to break down. Trains, we are making profit. Even the stone delivery is making a profit. That's brilliant. We're making profit from materials and stones. Wow, 1.196 million already. Wow. And we've got TRI fuel here is got a king, and of course we've got Immingham materials, which is always been a basket case. I think we've now got to the point where we probably don't need this because this is stealing everything. So time to get rid of Immingham, the stone and materials, manage tools, select all, log them all because they're all pretty bad, therefore useless. And what we do then is manage the line, and you can go by. And what we can also do is we don't need this anymore, so that's gone. So what we're doing now is ring here and just do a little bit of line mathematics. We're shipping 91 stone at the moment, and the demand here is 200. So there is a case for another train on this route, which was what we will do. Manage vehicles. We'll just clone in another train at the moment, because at the moment this is my only stone quarry, I think, at the moment, because I keep losing the suppliers. Oh no, we've got I quarry. Oh, we got and Cleaton Moor quarry. Where are you? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're using the two stone quarries. Sorry, frame faded there. So we've only got the two quarries, and we're using them both to supply stone to materials down here. That's good. Right. What we got to do now is get the lumber from here down to here, and we need to create the demand. So we're going to start with the lumber, and we're just going to put in the building here, and I'm just going to put you there as a cut point. I've just realized I'm running out of time on this video, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to set up this route, and then that would be it, guys. I didn't realize how carried away I got. So what I'm going to do is just set the routes up, and then I'll just have to let the game run to make some money. This would be Erith, lumber to port. There. Erith branch. Wait, you can wait to load it. You will deliver to there, and then all the way up here we've got to set a route up. Now what I'm going to do is set a truck route up first because the distance is short, but eventually the train line will come down into here. But setting the train line up is going to be quite complicated, so what we will do is set up a route here to don't want to come there. Okay. I think because it's only a temporary route, I think we can afford to go just directly into there. This will be Gainsborough. um, lumber to lumber, not lumber, lumber to tools there, and we'll set you to, and then again we're just gonna buy. Again, I just want to get this going, so we're going to buy a couple of trucks. Again, the idea is just to create the demand. Gainsborough, London. And again, this actually, yep, I've made a bit of a mistake here. We need to edit the line here because, of course, we need to edit this thing so that we can. Need to add. No. Put you there. Terminals. You can go to terminal 2. And we're going to manage the line. Certainly going to rename it because I don't want Danesborough, we need Gainsborough. And of course, the thing I didn't do is we need to load lumber here, and we also need to pick up tools eventually. And here you will unload the lumber. Where is it? And you will load the tools. So what we've got now is because we've got 2 tool pickups here, because we've got the tools coming in from this one. So there's going to be a bit of competition, but what this is about is creating the demand. And so we've now got the demand here. We've got, let's do a bit of line mathematics here. You're delivering 82. How much do you need? Oh, sorry. 82. It's only delivering 15 at the moment. May have managed. That's the wrong one. Let me put them on the wrong one. This is this one. What we'll do is we'll double the number of trucks on this route. Got to be a bit careful because what will happen is if we put too many trucks on here with the delivery with ships, we may actually cause a queue here, which will block the station. So we need to keep an eye on that. And just to finish off, we're going to go all the way down to Erith. And we're up down to here. So we got Erith there. So what we need to do is stop out there. I mean, the town's liable to grow this way, so we're going to put you there. I think I will invest the money now on the direct link here. If we can get the road across cheaper. 5,000 there. Actually, cancel that. We're going to put some good roads in here. I think we're about there. Put an expensive road in. In fact, we're encourage the town by doing that, and then but what we got here, this is 60, this is 80. I think we'll stick with the 40-kilometer. Okay, game. I don't care. What we will do. Can't I connect to Mud Road? That's it. And push you Whoops. Put you over there. And we'll hook you to there. Because this will become a fairly significant delivery route from here. We don't want to go up round that way. Put you onto there. Into there. Error tools. Erith tool, not rule tool, delivery here. Oops. And again, I think it's time to, I mean, the depot's over here. Probably the wrong place now, so we'll get rid of you to save some money. And we're actually we could probably put the depot just about here, because this is like a more logical place now. So just put the depot in about there. Because actually no, we'll put the depot up here, away from the port, just in case I want to put a second cargo. Because again, this area could get a little bit busy. And okay, I'm just gonna buy 5 trucks. And allocate you to Erith tool delivery. Okay, let me just look at this flow through here. You're flowing quite well. Yeah, you're flowing around there. So what we can do, because this one is actually a pickup point, we can change this route and say manage line, wait until full. And we've only got a few trucks, so they can queue up in this area here. So again, I suppose in some ways this is a bit of a top tip, is that if you've got a pickup, put it on this side, not this side. Anyway, guys, this is where I'm going to leave it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. Now, it's going to take a little while for this area to start putting things together. Did I put any trucks on this route? Yep, I don't recall putting any trucks on the route here. Let me just have a look. No, we got no vehicles. Okay, that's a bit stupid, isn't it? Okay, we're just going to buy some vehicles, but we're going to probably need about 20. And assign you to, where was it? Erith lumber. Okay. And again, the trucks have got to go all the way out there and pick up, and they're going to form a queue here, which is going to cause confusion, but eventually we'll get the trucks flowing backwards and from that point. That will create demand. That will come down here and put the what is connected, and that will bring the lumber to here, which will then be shipped all the way up to Gainsborough, Bradford Forum, Blandford Forum, mine. Yes, okay, thank you again. That will bring the ships all the way up to here, and we will then get here, and then we'll go up to this way. And what we'll get is a bit of mining here. So at the moment we've probably got, there's no demand on Gainsford lumber to tools, simply because at the moment there's just no flow there. So it's going to take a little while for that to work through. Anyway, guys, this is where I'm going to leave it. Apologies for going way over on this video, but I wanted to do it as a self-contained unit. In the next part, we're going to be focusing on trying to get this area set up so that we can get materials over to I. As you can see, we've got a demand for materials here, and Gainsborough is, we still not really delivering that much in the way of materials here. We probably need even more trucks. And these guys must be, anyway. This is where I'm going to leave it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you found it interesting. And until next time, whatever you do, enjoy your gaming.